Greetings, YouTube. My name is Rebecca. This is my first vlog. I got myself a dash mount so that I could record videos while I drive myself to and from work, because I am a horrible procrastinator. And if I don't do this while I'm stuck in the car and can't get away, then I probably wouldn't make my start in actually getting anywhere with this. Anyway, I have about 2 hours more or less every weekday. I mean, well, except for Thursdays when I work from home, but anyway, where I'm stuck in my car and I'm commuting. And I don't have a carpool buddy because I've been doing this for years and it just doesn't ever last for very long, and it doesn't really work out. And I really love to drive, so I just figured I should do this while I'm doing my usual commute. I've had many of my friends ask me if I would start a YouTube channel or a vlog channel, and frankly, I've had a lot of anxiety about putting myself out there or being on YouTube or being like really in the public eye, and so I haven't done anything with that. So I'm sorry you guys had to wait so long, for those of you who are waiting for my first video, Captain's vlog. I'm gonna tell you about what happened to me in the last day. In the last day, I finished my version 2.0 prototype for what I call the empathy machine. And this was an idea that came to me when I was in a very deep meditation. And the idea is based on the empathy experiment. The empathy experiment is, if you maintain eye contact with a person for 4 minutes or more, you will establish an empathetic connection with that person. And you will be able to really deeply connect with that person beyond words. You don't actually talk to the other person, or I should say you don't have to talk to them. You can do all of this just through maintaining eye contact, and it doesn't even take that long before you can feel yourself really identifying with the other person. So anyway, I thought, well, what if you could deepen that experience? And this is what came to me out of the meditation, is how do you really connect beyond just looking at the other person? What if it were possible for you to see yourself in the other person, and vice versa? What would that do to someone's prejudice? Like racial prejudice, for example. What if you put a racist person into that sort of situation where they can really deeply connect with the other person, or, you know, like you don't even know if they'd want to in the first place. But aside from that, you realize when you connect very deeply with one another that you're not really separate from each other. You get the feeling that you are very connected and one with that other person. And the empathy machine uses an optical illusion to achieve the effect of oneness, and it dissolves the boundaries of your physical identity to the degree where you see other people in your own reflection. So anyway, I made prototype 2.0 over this weekend, and I brought it with me today to the office, and I tried it with one of my coworkers, and I think she was quite overwhelmed by the experience. Everyone that tried version 1.0 thought that it was really a positive experience. They said amazing things about it. They said, I feel like I can still see you when I look at myself in the mirror. And so I made some surveys for this thing for anybody who's willing to try it for about 5 minutes to give me their feedback about what the experience is like for them, and to get more information, like who do you want to try this with and why, like a family member or a friend or about yourself or about the world. So I also brought this with me after work to my flotation therapy appointment because I have some friends there, and you know, they're friends of mine because I go there all the time, and I really think that they're great people, so they're my friends. And they wanted to try it, so I said, well, you know, let's try it out. I'll bring it inside, and it's just this small little device. It's kind of like 2 cubes put together. It's a little claustrophobic, I guess, because you're forced to be in very close proximity with the other participant, and you can't really get away from the eye contact thing because there's nothing else to look at while you're in there. And they said, wow, that's really cool. And for the first time, I was able to see what I had wanted it to be. And I had this idea like almost a whole year ago, and I've been trying to get this to work. Plus, my procrastinating ass was not getting the ball rolling on that. But thankfully, I just got it done this weekend, and the whole entire thing cost me less than $100 altogether. And I got this corrugated plastic from Tap Plastics, and I got a 2-way mirror from the scrap bin, and I got some LED lights from the electronics store Fry's, which is, you know, kind of a trek for me. So that was an adventure day getting all parts for this. And then I finally just put it all together yesterday, and unfortunately, it's really hard to try out something that's meant for 2 people if all you have to put the thing together is yourself. So today was the first time that I have ever gotten to use my second prototype with somebody, and it works exactly as I had hoped it would. So go me, I'm way proud of myself. And the other thing that I want to talk about today is flotation therapy. This is something really new to me. I go to this place in Seattle that's near to my workplace. It's called Life Float. And if you're in the Seattle area, it is right next to REI. It's on Yale, right across the street from the REI big building. You know, like I'm talking about the REI with the big climbing rock that you can see from I-5. And anyway, this place opened at the end of November. They had their grand opening, and one of my friends from gosh, how'd I meet this guy? I met him at an event through meetup.com, and then we became Facebook friends. And then a long time later, he posted that he got this job working at this place, Life Float, and he said, if you want to try it, send me a message. And I was like, oh my gosh, this place is like actually really close to where I work, and I really want to try this. For those of you who don't know what flotation therapy is, this is called sensory reduction flotation therapy. And at Life Float, they don't use tanks or pods. If you've ever heard of this before, you may have, you know, rankled at the idea of, oh gosh, I don't want to be claustrophobic in a tank or a pool that's totally dark and lose all sense of space and position and direction. And you know, that was the reason that I never went myself. I never did flotation therapy any other way because it was always the tanks and the pods. And I just thought, you know, if I try that for the first time and I don't have a good experience, my bad experience might be because I feel like I'm trapped in this small little space. So I didn't want to do it. But then Life Float opened, and they have pools. They're big enough that you can spread out all the way. Like you can practically spread eagle inside this float pool. The float pool has about 1,200 pounds of salt in it, and it's Epsom salts and Himalayan pink salt, or I know that they've experimented with some different things. And also they don't treat the water with chlorine. It's purified with a UV and hydrogen peroxide solution. And the water is filtered out after every single use. So if you go to this place, you'll notice that the pool isn't even full until you get in there. Like, that's what I've noticed. Like, the pool's totally empty when I first get in the room, and then the pool fills itself automatically when I shut the door. I don't know if that's like magic or something, but anyway, it really feels like magic. It's pretty great. And it's very hot inside that place because the air needs to be skin temperature, and also the water needs to be skin temperature, or else you really lose the effect of that, you know, losing sense of your physical boundaries. That's the most remarkable thing I noticed right away the first time that I did a float, is that I couldn't tell where the edges of my skin met the water. I could not tell where the water was at all. I felt like I was a cloud. I'm not just floating on top of a cloud, but I am a cloud. And I'm perfectly warm and perfectly comfortable and very still. If any of you like the Vipassana style of meditation, you will absolutely love flotation therapy. If you have chronic pain, I highly recommend it for that. I myself have arthritis in both my knees, and this is something that I have been dealing with since my childhood. Pain is always something that I've had in my life every day. And it's not something that improves with time. But thankfully, I've found relief in flotation therapy. I feel no pain at all while I'm floating, and also the pain doesn't seem to come back for about 2 days. And that's really remarkable for me, not really having a frame of reference for being pain-free for a very long time. You know, and when you have that kind of pain all the time, you just get used to it, or, you know, you just become a chronically angry sort of a person, because you never have any relief from that pain. It's like it's always there, and you can't make it happy. You can't really be on the team with pain, you know, like to get some relief from it. Other things are not quite like that. I guess I'm not really the kind of person that likes to take pharmaceuticals to manage my pain. I would rather do things in a holistic way, because I feel better about that for myself. Of course, that doesn't mean that I'm going to tell other people what they should do. That's like the last thing that I would ever want to do, is to say, you should do this, or you need to do this. No. But I do give my wholehearted recommendation for giving it a try. And if you don't want to try the tanks or the pods, find a place with a pool, like Life Float. And if you're going to try this, here's some things to keep in mind. You may want to use earplugs so that you don't get salt water in your ears. If you get salt water in your ears, the salt crystals, and believe me, there's a lot of salt crystals in that water, salt crystals will maintain that moisture when it's in your ear. And I got some water in my ear one time because I touched one of my earplugs and kind of wiggled it around a little bit while I was floating, and I got some moisture in there, and I didn't realize that, you know, it drained further into my ear canal, and I could tell that I had fluid in my ear for probably 2 or 3 weeks until it went away altogether. So that was annoying. Every time I swallowed or yawned or coughed, I could tell that there was fluid in my ear. So use the earplugs if you don't want to get water in your ear, and put the earplugs in before you get in the pool, And before you rinse yourself off, because you don't want to have extra moisture in there, that'll break the seal of the earplug within the opening of your ear canal. What else? The first thing that I recommend doing if you're going to try floating is to take note of all of the areas of tension in your body and focus on relaxing each area one by one if necessary. My issues with floating are that feeling like your head's gonna sink. That was kind of difficult for me, that head sinking feeling. What I do for that is I consciously allow my neck to completely relax, and I notice the water doesn't ever get into my eyes. You just have to be very, very still in the water. The flotation pools are not meant for swimming or playing. They're meant for very, very deep relaxation and focused meditation, if that's what you do it for. That's what I do it for, both meditation and then for pain management. So I try to go pretty often, actually. I would love to go every other day if I could. Every 2 days would be fantastic. And it's so nearby to my work, I usually just try to make it in and schedule an appointment after my work day. Another thing to keep in mind is that you want to wear light clothes, because when you get out of that pool, it's so hot in that room and very humid that if you have heavy clothes, it's going to feel really uncomfortable before you finish getting dressed. So get layered clothing if it's going to be really cold when you get outside. They also have, at this place I go to, they have like a vanity area. So for people like me who have ridiculously long hair, you can dry your hair while you're still there. You don't have to leave with, your hair dripping wet. What I think is really nice about this place is the beautiful ambiance, all of the gentle lighting inside. I feel very relaxed as soon as I walk through the door. And I also think it's really cool how many people that work there are very spiritually awake and aware people. I've noticed that there've got to be, when I started going there were like 3 different people with psychic ability working there. I don't know if that was a coincidence, but I really, excuse me, really love the atmosphere of that place because of the people there. They just make it so relaxing there, and I just love them. Anyway, I'm commuting after the normal rush hour, so my commute time isn't quite an hour. My vlog entry is pretty short for the first time. I basically just got from South Lake Union all the way home in about 20 minutes. Go me. And I wasn't even speeding or anything. Didn't even break the law. But that's not something I really do anyway. I'm gonna sign off as soon as I park my car. And if you have any questions for me or any feedback, you can leave a comment, or you can subscribe to my channel. You can send me an email. My email address is syriansage@gmail.com, and that's Syrian like the star, not like the country. It's spelled SIRIANSAGE@gmail.com. And this is all I have for you now. I wish you many blessings. and I will do this again tomorrow. So have a great night, you guys. Take care, and may you be blessed. Good night.